All right, and welcome to Ohio at Chicago Sunday Night Live game at Pitbulls Park. This is, of course, the Bull Baseball League, OOTP 18 simulated fictional baseball. And the theme music is very appropriate because it is the Ohio OXEN and the Chicago Pitbulls. The Bulls are on parade tonight at Pitbulls Park. We'll be getting underway momentarily. We hope you enjoy the show. All right, and it's been an exciting simulation of Bull League baseball. These past couple of games, well, first let me bring you up to speed. It is currently August 20th in the Bull League, and we've just completed 2 days of game simulations. Ohio and Chicago actually played 3 games, however, in those 2 days. They had a doubleheader on Friday. Bring you back to the results for that doubleheader. And first game went ahead. It was Chicago 5, Ohio 4. And the second game of that doubleheader was Ohio 9, Chicago 4. So a couple interesting games. The first game win went to Morales, who's now 8-6 in the season, the Chicago pitcher. Fairly well rated pitcher. He's having a great year, actually, the Cuban Mario Big Thunder Morales, the 33-year-old left-hander. Had a couple of rough games. His last outing against Boston gave up 6 earned runs, 14 hits, and 5 1/3 innings. Boston, though, really a dominant team this year, scoring a lot of runs, a lot of home runs. Only Ohio really is outscoring them. So Big Thunder Morales with the win in the first game, coming back from a couple of rough outings at the end of July and beginning of August. It was Steve Turbo Howard that got the loss for the Ohio OXEN, and he gave up 11 hits, 5 earned runs, had 7 strikeouts and a couple walks in that loss to Chicago. In Game 2, the 9-4 win for the Ohio OXEN, Fraser Claus moved ahead to 13-2, and Masato Watanabe evened his record at 5-5. Chris Soundgarden got the save for Ohio. Electricity, I believe, got injured in that game. No, that was the next game after that one, which was the Saturday game. Ohio won the Saturday game 6-2, bringing their record up to 51-34. Chicago's at 35-49. The winning pitcher for that game was Rusty Rowe for the Ohio OXEN. Greg Whittington took the loss, moving to sink into 4-7 now on the season for Chicago. That brings us to the Sunday game, August 20th. Lots of excitement going on here, and we're going to get underway shortly. But just to bring you through what's going on here, folks. So, first of all, Heath Slocum and Brett Gilbert are the scheduled pitchers for tonight. Heath Slocum 5-10 on the season. He's not having a great year. A 4.60 ERA. Brett Gilbert 6-7 on the season, 4.24 ERA. He's doing somewhat better than that. The Ohio OXEN are leading the pack. They are the best team in the Lake League currently in most hitting categories, including average, on-base percentage. They are the Lake League leader in runs and home runs. They're 7-3 against Chicago before this series. They've split game one, day one, so that pushed them up to 8-4, and then they won yesterday, so they're at 9-4. Winning this game puts them up 10-4. That's their 14 games. This is the last time they play the Chicago Pit Bulls for the 2017 regular season. It doesn't look like Chicago is going to be in the postseason. They're certainly going to try, but they are now tied with Toronto. Unfortunately, several games. I think it's 14.5 games out of first place. 15.5. 15.5 games out of first place, tied at 35 and 49. The Toronto Nomads essentially are out of the playoff running as well. Although theoretically, 11 games back from a wild card, both of those teams, but they've got too many teams to surpass. New York, Kingston, Battle Creek, and Detroit are ahead of those teams. So it's looking like Chicago's playing for to stay out of the basement today. And we'll look at the summary for Chicago right now. And the Chicago Pit Bulls have been on a bit of a slide. They were 9-14 through July. Their second lowest home run production in the Lake League, the 8th worst ERA in the Lake League. So they've really had the double whammy of both poor hitting and poor pitching throughout the year. So that's really been a bit of an issue for them. All right, so this graphic we've got for you is the Ohio pitcher for today. Heath Slocum is having a pretty good year. He's 0-1. Little graphic error there. He's ignore the stats on the side there. We'll start with Chicago's Brett Gilbert anyway. So Brett Gilbert, 0-1 versus the Ohio OXEN in 2017. Made the switch from reliever in 2016. Has not won since June. He's on a 4-game losing streak, and his loss to Ohio in his only match against the OXEN this year was his worst outing in 2017. He did give up 11 earned runs, 12 runs in total. So not a very auspicious game for Brett Gilbert. Heath Slocum, on the other hand, I believe now the stats are going to be wrong on the sidebar there, but I believe he was 2-1 against Chicago this year, so faring somewhat better than Brett Gilbert. The other thing to watch for in this match is going to be this little matchup between Carlos Mendoza and Heath Slocum. Carlos Mendoza, who just came back from a 3-game suspension for an on-field brawl just a few days ago, is actually one of the better hitters against the Ohio OXEN, and in particular Heath Slocum. They've got a bit of a history. Carlos is 5-for-11 against Slocum with a home run, and up until the start of the series, he was batting .293 against Ohio with a .310 on base percentage and a .561 slugging percentage. So Carlos Mendoza having a pretty good season overall against Heath Slocum, and they've got some decent players on that squad. So it'll be interesting to see. Chicago's already won one of the 4 games. Today they're going to fight to split that series, and we'll see how they do. This is the Ohio OXEN at the Chicago Pit Bulls. We gave you the pregame special, and we're going to get this underway. All right, so taking the field for Chicago will be Mike Strang in left field, Carlos Mendoza in center field, Oscar Barajas in right field, Frank Erickson at third base. Shortstop is George Hubbard. Second baseman is Roberto Castro. Joe Birch at first base. And pitching today, Brett Gilbert. As we mentioned, Sean Pfeiffer will be the catcher. Corny Mays leads it off for the Ohio OXEN. He's batting .259 on the season. Electricity, the second baseman, coming up after him. And Raul Fowl in third base at batting third. Ollie Oxenfree batting cleanup, the right fielder. Garth Goyle at first base. Brad Bogus, the DH, batting sixth. Tyrone Osoris, the catcher, batting seventh. And Krosef Joseph, the shortstop, eighth, with Craig Gnarly batting ninth, the left fielder. Sorry about that. All right. Now we're just double checking the audio settings here. And bring you a good baseball game. All right, welcome baseball fans. And yeah, Ohio is in first place in the Lake League Division, West Division. Chicago isn't. We're going to see how this game turns out. It's balmy, 81 degrees. And the wind is blowing in from the right, 9 miles an hour. And right away, we get a man on base as the 2-2 pitch is a hard hit up the center. Gets past Hubbard into center field, and that will put Corny Mays on first base. Gilbert checking the runner. Mays a bit of a threat to steal. Gilbert pitching from the stretch. That one's inside for ball one. Knee high in the inside corner, strike one. 95 mile an hour fastball from Brett Gilbert. Way inside. And Electricity lays off. 2-1 is the count. That 98 mile an hour inside pitch. Grounded up the middle. That'll be good for a double play as it went right to Hubbard and over to Birch for the first out, and then Tricity out at out at first base. Or yeah, it was the Castro, Hubbard, Birch 4-6-3 double play. And whoa. No, they didn't get Corny Mays at second base, so the double play was not a double play. My apologies. Corny Mays still safe at second. I guess it was a real close one there. Electricity out at first, so we'll move on to Raul Fowl batting third. And the first pitch fouled off to the first base dugout. Raul Fowl, no home runs on the season, batting .272, .320 on base percentage, 75 hits in 276 at-bats. Struggled to produce. He's had a couple of errors. He's been all over the place, going from a productive player to kind of guy that just not sure why you have him on the team. But batting third today. He's also a bit of a speedy guy, so let's see if he gets on base. There may be a threat for a double steal. Swing and a miss, and that's it for Raul Fowl. He goes down swinging. 2 out, 1 on. And that'll bring up Ollie Oxenfree, the right fielder. First pitch misses low. Oxenfree, 9 home runs on the year, 39 RBIs. And check swing. That'll be ball 2. And that pitch goes inside. And Oxenfree well ahead of the count so far. 2 out and a 3-0 count. Corny Mays in scoring position. And he lays off that one. It comes in for a strike. 99 miles an hour. That one's grounded hard to second. That'll be a Castro to Birch play, and that'll retire the side. So we move to the bottom of the first. Ohio stranding Mays at second base. And that'll bring up Castro, Barajas, and Erickson for the Chicago Pitbulls. Craig Gnarly, Corny Mays, and Ollie Oxenfree, the outfielders for the Ohio Oxen. Raul Fowl, as we mentioned, third baseman. Corrosive Joseph at shortstop. Electricity playing second. Garth Goyle at first base. Tyrannosaurus catching. And Heath Slocum on the mound for Ohio. And the top of the order for Chicago will be Roberto Castro, the second baseman. Looks like Oscar Barajas, right fielder, and Frank Erickson, the third baseman. And let's get it underway. First pitch goes wide. Missing outside with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And Slocum delivers inside for ball 2. Castro showing his patience here. Hard hit to left. That'll drop in for a base hit. And Castro right away evens up the hit count with a leadoff single on that 2-0 pitch. That'll bring up Oscar Barajas, the right fielder. Castro, bit of a threat to steal. And that one misses high on the outside corner. Strike 1. Sorry, didn't miss. It hit the corner. 1-1 count. This one goes wide. That's hit deep and high, but I think it's going to stay in. Yeah, that'll be grabbed up by Oxenfree. But Castro moves to second. Throw is not in time. It's a sliding dive into second there. So a sac fly will move Castro up to second. That'll bring up Frank Erickson, third baseman, batting third. And he takes a fastball strike. Right away the count's 0-2. 1 out, 1 on. And he goes down swinging. That'll bring up Sean Pfeiffer. Here's the power hitting catcher. 5 home runs on the year, batting .240. And Castro still itching to move another 90 feet on second base. 1-0 is the count. Heath Slocum delivers. That one's fouled off down the left field line. The 1-1 pitch. That one's launched into left. That'll be an easily caught fly ball to OXEN free, and the runner's going to stay where he is. 2 out. That'll bring up Mike Strang, the left fielder. Excuse me. That was a foul ball. All right. Looks like I'm not paying attention. Sean Pfeiffer goes down on a swing and strike, and that's the 3rd out. That'll bring up Ohio in the top of the 2nd. Garth Goyle and Brad Bogus, Tyrannosaurus due up for the top of the 2nd. First pitch to Goyle, low, ball 1. Hard hit, but right into the glove of Electricity. That'll put him away. What a great catch. Sorry, I've got my fielders mixed up. Right into the glove of Roberto Castro. Phenomenal fielder. But that will retire the first batter. We're up to Brad Bogus. That one's tapped off to foul territory next to first base. Joe Birch chasing it down. And popped up, and that should be easily caught. Looks like Birch taking that one. 2 away. First pitch to Tyrannosaurus, fouled off into the stands. One's the count. And that one's fouled off. An audio problem there. Not sure what was going on. The 1-2 pitch to Saurus fouls off. Another fastball. He's really battling to stay in this one. Making a quality at bat here as he's making Gilbert work for this out. 2 away, none on. And outside corner, strike 3. Osaurus caught looking. That'll retire the side. Bottom of the 2nd brings up Strang, Mendoza, and Hubbard for Chicago. First pitch to Strang. Curveball down the middle for strike. Strang fouls that one off. Third base side. Strang batting .259 this season, 6 home runs and 26 RBIs. The left-hander. And he goes down swinging. 3 strikeouts so far for Heath Slocum. He's having a good game today. Only allowed 1 hit so far. Carlos Mendoza will face Slocum for the first time in a while. As we mentioned, 4-11 on the season. Sorry, 5-11 on the season against Heath Slocum, batting .455. Now let's see what Mendoza can cook up here. And this one's called a fastball, strike 1. 1-1 the count with 1 away. 100 miles an hour that last fastball there. And this cutter goes to the outside. 2-1 count to Carlos Mendoza. He'll watch that one miss wide. And Slocum behind the count here. And that one's chopped down the first base side that makes it right past a diving Garth Goyle. Mendoza is on base. Second hit of the game for Chicago. One away. And that'll bring up George Hubbard, the shortstop. Mendoza, a threat to steal. Looks like pitching inside there. Check swing from George. That one missing down the middle. Sorry, hitting down the middle. Strike one. 1-1's the count. Mendoza itching to move to second. And it looked like they were anticipating a play there. Hubbard taking the ball wide as that one's pitched out. Smokum not taking any chances here with Mendoza. Definitely wanted to hold that runner. That one misses low for ball 3. The 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, and that'll fill the count. The pitch to Hubbard. That one makes it right past a diving Goyle, who is holding the runner, and that's a safe base hit for George Hubbard, moving Mendoza up to second base. Didn't make it far out of the infield, but it went right by a diving Garth Goyle, who of course was playing the first base bag to holding Mendoza. Mendoza made it all the way to third on that play with that speed. So the runners in the corners with one out. Mendoza 90 feet away from taking the lead here for Chicago. And the first pitch is into the dirt to Joe Birch. Ball 1. Another one missing low, ball 2. And a soft grounder to second. That'll be a double play. So that will mean Mendoza does not score. Birch grounds into a 4-6-3 double play as it's a soft roller right to electricity. Over to Joseph and then back to Garth Goyle at first. So that means a big zilch for Chicago. The bottom of the second. That'll bring up Ohio for the top of the third. We're going to check our out-of-town scoreboard. So far, we've got Montreal leading Detroit 4-3. Seattle leading Norfolk 3-0 over the American Eagle League. Boston is behind 3-0 to the Kingston Cannons. Jacksonville taking on Dallas 2-0 is their lead. Rimouski fighting Battle Creek Attack, and they're well ahead 6-2 as the score there with 2 runners on. Looks like Zinjiro Suga is up to bat. Calgary-Denver goes ahead later today, along with the Toronto-New York and Nevada-Arizona games, and Anchorage-California, the last game of the evening at 5:05 Eastern. Thank you for joining us once again, this live broadcast of Ohio OXEN at the Chicago Pit Bulls, as the players take their positions. And back to the top of the third, we'll have Corrosive Joseph, Craig Gnarly, and Corny Mays at the top of the order. And the first pitch to Joseph, slapped down the third base line, foul. That one is going to put the count up to 0-1. Gilbert, 29 pitches. This one's at the knees for strike 2. Gilbert's really picking his spots today. Really finding those strike zone corners. 0-2 count, and he goes down looking, and that's strikeout number 3 for Brett Gilbert. Really having a phenomenal game today. It's a bit of a change for Brett Gilbert. You know, he'd been on a bit of a slump the last few outings. Four straight losses. Craig Gnarly up to bat. This one makes it out of the infield into center field. That was a somewhat of a hard hit grounder that scooted right by Roberto Castro. So Man on base for Chicago, or for Ohio, as they get their second hit. Craig Gnarly at first. Corey Mays, top of the order. He got a hit in his first at bat. And the 1-0 pitch. This one misses for ball 2. Mays fouling that one off. Still ahead of the count. Swung on and missed that fastball for strike 2, so 2-2 count with Gnarly at first, 1 out. And he goes down swinging on a curveball. Fooled him with that one. Gilbert's curveball really working it today. Strikeout number 4 for the young right-hander. Electricity coming up to the plate. First pitch to him fouled off. Early in the game, Ohio is not trying anything too tricky with the base running. Craig Gnarly has quite a few steals. He's a speedy guy, but not being given the send sign today, as the count goes up to 2-1. And this one's popped into left. That'll drop in for a base hit. So Gnarly safe at second, Tricity at first. Gilbert's allowed 2 runners on this inning. 2 hits. Two outs. Raul Fowl takes the first pitch for ball 1. Gilbert really sending the heat down there. That one last one clocked 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour on that one. This one misses low for ball 2. A swing and strike. That one was way off speed. Raul Fowl just couldn't find it. Fouled off the right field side. And another one fouled off behind home plate. Fowl trying to stay alive here and do something with Gnarly in scoring position. And he swings and misses, and that'll retire the side as another strikeout is notched for Brett Gilbert. 46 pitches, 4 strikeouts. He's allowed 3 hits in 3 innings, but so far having a fantastic day. He smoke him back on the mound for Ohio, bottom of the 3rd inning. That'll bring up Jordan Garcia, the bottom of the order. You know, it's funny when you got your designated hitter at the bottom of the order. And it kind of tells you something about a team's lineup when your DH is batting that position. And smoke him with a fastball swung on and missed by Jordan Garcia for strike 1. High and inside, that'll be ball 1. The 1-1 pitch inside. Smokem throws a cutter. The count goes up to 2-2. Garcia swings on this one, grounded over to second base. That's easily played. Electricity to Goyle. And we've got our first out on the bottom of the 3rd. Roberto Castro at the top of the order. He had a hit in his first at-bat back in the 1st inning. And he'll take the first pitch for ball 1. This one misses wide, ball 2. This low curveball comes in. Also missing the strike zone. Smokem having a little bit of trouble placing his pitches today. It's been a perennial problem for him. It's partly why his ERA is 4.51. And he gives up a free pass to Roberto Castro. 1 away, Castro on first. That'll bring up Oscar Barajas. Castro, speedy guy, threat to steal. As they keep him honest with a pickoff throw. And the pitch to Barajas is a strike. That off-speed pitch from Smokum. This one's fouled off behind the plate. Looked like Castro had a pretty good jump on that one. And that one lost control of that one. Soros lets that one go by, and Castro takes second. That one looks like it was, too low and zipped past Castro. So Heath Smokum with his first wild pitch of the day. Now we've got a runner in scoring position with one out. Low and away, ball 2. Smokum delivers. This one's grounded to third, over to first, and makes the play. Whoa. No, safe at first. Wow. Yeah, the throw is off target. So Castro moving up to third. And looks like Erickson up to the plate. Barajas at first base. So yeah, runners in the corners. Got Castro 90 feet away from scoring a run here. And the big Frank Erickson, 7 home runs, 28 RBIs, up to the plate. First pitch, ball 1. He'll take that one for a strike. Another wild one, and looks like that will bring in Castro, who's quick to jump on that one, in for the first run of the game. Chicago scoring on a wild pitch. Barajas easily going to second. And Erickson with a 2-1 count. 1 away. And this one's popped up. This will be easily played by the first baseman, Garth Goyle, and that'll keep Barajas honest. He's going to stay on second. Sean Pfeiffer batting cleanup for Chicago. He comes up to the plate. Going to see if he can extend this lead. 2 out. Barajas on second. This one's hit hard into left field. This one goes to the wall. That'll bring Barajas around to score. And a sliding double for Sean Pfeiffer as he drilled that one into the left field corner, sending Gnarly chasing it. Chicago is now up 2-0 on Ohio. And it all started with this Heath Smokum wild pitch. Just a few batters ago, that one brought Castro in. Mike Strang up to the plate, a left-handed left fielder. He takes one inside for a ball. Chicago's been able to capitalize even with outs here in the bottom of the third. This one's at the knees with a cut fastball. And swung on, missed for strike 2, the 1-2 count. And he's caught looking. There he goes, down looking on that fastball. That'll retire the side, but Chicago with 2 runs. Ohio still scoreless as we go to the top of the 4th. We'll check on those out-of-town scores again. Kingston well ahead of Boston, 6-0. They're in the top of the 6th inning. Seattle 3-0 over Norfolk. Battle Creek getting blasted by Rimouski now, who've been able to score 4 runs in the bottom of the 4th. They're up 10-2. Dallas still hasn't answered Jacksonville, who's ahead 2-0. They're in the bottom of the 1st in that Denver-Calgary match. And bottom of the first for Nevada and Arizona. No scores yet. Montreal, Detroit goes ahead, finished 5-3 earlier today. Fujimara with the win. Jose Munguia with the loss. Joe Nicely, 17th save of the year. Home runs from Ramirez, and for Detroit, Gomez and Vargas. Let's get back to the Chicago-Ohio game. Brett Gilbert, 47 pitches on the evening. 5 strikeouts in 3 innings. He's only allowed 3 hits. Looking to really improve his pitching record so far. And the first pitch misses low to Ollie Oxenfree. Oxenfree 0 for 1 on the day. And he fouls this one off in the seats. And that first at-bat for Oxenfree was quite a grind. He did make Gilbert work for it. Looks like he's going to try and do the same thing here. The 1-1 pitch. And that one's a soft tapped fly up to just behind second base. And that'll be George Hubbard come over to field that one. So one away for Ohio as they try to get something going here to answer these 2 Chicago runs. In the top of the 4th. Garth Goyle up to bat. The left-handed first baseman. Takes the first pitch for strike 1. And this one's tapped right to shortstop. That's an easy ground ball as he's retired. So yeah, Hubbard to Birch, and that will be 2 outs. Brad Bogus, the heavy-hitting DH. 15 home runs on the season, batting .309, 0 for 1 today. Ball 1. Misses wide. Second one's launched into right, but that'll drop in. That'll be caught by Barajas for the 3rd out. So not quite hard enough for Bogus to get his 16th home run. So 1-2-3 inning. Move to the bottom of the 4th. Chicago Pit Bulls back up to the plate. Oops. Try to look at the bullpen there. Nobody in the bullpen for Ohio yet. And the first pitch to Carlos Mendoza misses for ball 1. 1 for 1 on the day. High and tight, but that misses as well. So 2-0 is the count. Smokum winds up, delivers. This one's inside, missing low with a fastball. 3-0 count, and it's the second time Smokum's fallen this far behind. Will he give up another walk? We'll see. And he does. He gives another free pass. Carlos Mendoza on base for the second time today. And Smokum with his second free pass issued. So the lead batter, is now on first. George Hubbard up to the plate. And this one catches the outside corner for a strike. Tap behind home plate for a foul. 0-2 count to Hubbard. That one will miss for ball 1. Hubbard battling back. And the count's even at 2. That fastball goes in the dirt for ball 3, so full count with no outs. Mendoza on first. Pitch from Smokum, grounded over to third. That'll be good for first out, but Hubbard safe at first, as Goyle does not catch the ball in time, but they do get the lead runner. Mendoza is out at second on the force play. One away, Joe Birch up to the plate. The cluster of left-handed batters at the bottom of the order here for Chicago. First pitch to him, ball one. And the next pitch, 96-mile-an-hour strike. And they chase Hubbard back to first base with that pickoff throw. Fastball goes low for a ball. So 2-1 is the count. Over to first again. Keep Hubbard guessing. Now, I would have figured on some pickoff throws with Mendoza on first. But with no out, I guess there's no pressure to move him. This one's tapped behind home plate. 2-2 count to Birch. This one is, oh, and yeah, Hubbard's going for it. He's got his second steal of the season as he runs like a demon on that one. The throw from Tyrannosaurus not in time. With one away, runner in scoring position once again for Chicago. Full count to Birch. Taps this one to second base, and that'll be an easy out. Hubbard well on his way to third, though. So 2 away with a runner scoring, still in scoring position, 90 feet away from making it a 3-0 ball game. Garcia coming up to the plate. 0 for 1 on the day. First pitch misses low for ball one. Smokum throwing some heat. Last one clocking in at 98 miles an hour. And this inside strike hitting 96 on the clock. This one goes in the dirt. Easily controlled by Tyrannosaurus with an eye on George Hubbard at third base. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Smokum lining up. And this one's tapped high to left. This'll be an easy catch, I would imagine. And Gnarly gets this one. Nope. It's in the crowd, so foul ball. Gnarly having difficulty over in that left with the stands and the fence to the stands there, left field side. So another foul ball. 2-2 pitch, fouled behind the plate. Garcia keeping the inning going, staying alive. And this one's launched into center, and this is gone. The 2-2 pitch just over the fence in right center. 2-run home run for Jordan Garcia. That'll bring in Hubbard, and that'll make it 4-0 for Chicago. Two-out home run, 2-run homer for the DH at the bottom of the order for Chicago. Castro back up to the top of the order now, 2 outs. First pitch to Roberto Castro, low and away for ball one. And this one's tapped to the shortstop, and some welcome relief for the Ohio OXEN as they can finally put Chicago away. But they've given up another 2 runs. So Chicago doubles their lead over Ohio. 4-0. And we move to the top of the 5th. Ohio OXEN looking for an opportunity here to get some runs back. Tyrannosaurus will lead it off, then Joseph, and then Craig Gnarly. First pitch to Osaurus. Strike one. This one missing outside for ball one. And this one's fouled off. Osaurus quickly putting the count to 1-2. And this pitch goes wide. Low and outside. Ball two. Gilbert delivers. This one missing low. And it's a full count to Tyrone, who keeps it alive, fouling this one off to the screen behind home plate. And this one blows by him at 96 miles an hour. Gilbert notching his 6th strikeout of the game, as Tyrone didn't know what to do with that one. Joseph will step up to the plate. Gnarly on deck. And this one's grounded down the third base line, easily handled by Erickson, and thrown over to first for the 2nd out of the inning. And a frustrated Ohio trying to get something going here. Chicago with 4 runs on 5 hits, and Ohio with no runs on 3 hits. Chicago would really like to split the series here. And this one is safely hit into right field by Craig Gnarly. The 0-1 pitch will drop in for a single. Corny Mays, the top of the batting order, fouls this one off the third base side. 2-way, Gnarly on first. 0-1 count. This fastball misses inside for ball 1. The throw over to first to keep Gnarly from taking too big of a lead off. This one comes down the pipe for strike 2. 1-2 count to Mays. Fouls that one off. And he swung on and fouled that one off. So still battling with a 1-2 count. And swinging and miss from the Brett Gilbert 95-mile-an-hour fastball. The score will remain 4-0 Chicago, as Ohio is stymied once again. Unable to advance that runner, leaving a runner on base. And Chicago comes up for the bottom of the 5th. Doesn't look like any bullpen activity for either side yet. And the first pitch to Oscar Barras, ball 1. Smoking with 4 strikeouts, not having a terrible outing himself, only allowed 2 earned runs, which would be the home run, 2-run homer from Garcia back in the 4th inning. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss at that fastball. This one missing low, however. Smokum still showing he's got the velocity. His arm's definitely not tired. 84 pitches so far as we are entering the 5th inning here. Full count to Barras. And this one's hit hard into center field. It is dropping in for a safe double, a sliding double for Oscar Barajas, and Chicago on base yet again. Hit number 6 for the Pitbulls. And once again, the leadoff runner in scoring position, leadoff batter in scoring position, I should say. Frank Erickson up to the plate, takes the first pitch for ball 1. 99-mile-an-hour fastball in the dirt. That'll be ball 2. Smokum a little bit rattled every time he's got a player on, a runner on. Already falling way behind in the count here. Here he gets a strike right down the pipe. For some reason, Erickson doesn't swing at that one. This one misses wide, and that'll be a free pass to Frank Erickson. No out and 2 on. Check the status of that bullpen again. 91 pitches Smokum's thrown, but no activity yet for the Ohio bullpen. No outs, 2 runners on. First pitch to Sean Pfeiffer, ball 1. And he fouls that one off. Waiting for the right offering from Smokum. This one misses low. Pfeiffer has been known to be a bit of a patient hitter. And this one's hit into left field. That'll drop in safely for a base hit. Barajas rounding third, standing up at home. And the throw back in will hold Erickson at third base. Pfeiffer with a sliding double. And Pitbulls have now extended their score, their lead, to 5-0. Ohio has some work to do to get out of this hole. Strang hits that one into left field. It's in the seats. Fastball missing high, so 1-1 count. Low and outside, ball 2. And this one's hit hard up into the center field. This will bring another run in as Strang singles, Erickson scores, and Pfeiffer moves to third. Still no out here in the bottom of the 5th. No activity in that Ohio bullpen. As the OXEN have fallen behind 6-0 here. No out and 2 runners still on base. Mendoza hits this one into left. This will be an easy catch. And a sliding running and sliding play at home plate there. But it looks like they were able to get the out. Pfeiffer out at home plate. Gnarly with an incredible arm there. But he kind of fell funny on his knee as he threw that one. But after a quick look, he's okay to continue. So still 6-0 Chicago. Ohio, they're really pressuring themselves to keep this lead from expanding. A 2-away on that double play. Interesting double play. The pop fly to left field. And the play at the plate. Low and away, ball 1. George Hubbard. 2-away. Runner on second. This one's tapped back to the pitcher. The throw to first is not in time, and Hubbard is safe with an infield hit. About 10 feet in front of the mound. So 2 runners on once again. Strang, 90 feet away at third base. 2 away, however. Joe Birch will come up to the plate. First pitch strike for Smokum. This fastball misses high, hits 100 on the radar gun. And another one missing low. Foul behind the left side. Foul territory there. Joe Birch fighting this one. Stay alive here. The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3, and that'll retire the Chicago Pitbulls in the bottom of the 5th. Ohio not liking this trend, though. 3 innings in a row, they've given up 2 runs. 6-0 is the score currently. And we're going to check that out at Town Scoreboard once again and see where the other games are at. Boston got on the scoreboard now against Kingston, but they're still behind 7-3. And it looks like they've got an opportunity to cut that lead down. 2 runners on with Cesar Hernandez batting. Only 1 out. It's the bottom of the 9th in Norfolk as Seattle's ahead 3-1 there. Bottom of the 6th in Dallas. Jacksonville Ravens ahead 5-0 there. Dallas looking like they're trying to make a comeback there. They've got bases loaded with Rick Riefnott batting. 1 away. And the news out of Rimouski, Quebec is good for the Fighting Moose. 12-2 is their lead over Battle Creek, who are not too successful in putting up much of an effort here. It's the end of the 3rd in Calgary, Denver, as the Denver Danger are ahead 3-1 after 3 innings. Top of the 4th, down in Reno. In Arizona, Scottsdale, I believe they're based out of the Arizona Cowboys. 2-0 for the Nevada Speeders. Toronto and New York still not underway, and nor is Anchorage and California. Some news out of that Rimouski game. Hugo Gonzalez, 4 hits in that game. So an interesting collection of scores there on that out-of-town scoreboard. And so we go to the top of the 6th here in Chicago. Electricity will lead it off for the OXEN. First pitch, slider, goes in for strike 1. Brett Gilbert. Still going strong for Chicago. 7 strikeouts in 5 innings. Only allowed 4 hits. 4-hit shutout so far. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 to Electricity, who's now 1-3 on the day. Not a happy camper. Raul Fowl, the third baseman for Ohio, steps up to the plate. Switch hitter batting left. And swung on and fouls that one away to the left side. The 0-1 pitch misses low for ball 1. Gilbert still throwing a lot of velocity there, 97 miles an hour, that fastball. And this one's grounded to second. This will be an easy out, however. 2 away for Chicago, with Ohio at the plate. Ollie Oxenfree misses this one low for ball 1. Inside fastball, ball 2. This one's tapped right up the middle, but easily played by the shortstop, George Hubbard. And that'll retire the side. We move once again to Chicago's turn at bat in the bottom of the 6th. Ohio unable to answer these 6 runs, which is very surprising given the Ohio OXEN and their sheer offense this season. This one lined foul by Jordan Garcia, the DH, with that 2-run homer in the 4th inning. This one's hit hard right over the head of the shortstop, Corrosive Joseph, and Garcia on base for his 2nd hit of the day. And that's not the first time Ohio's let the leadoff batter make it safely on base. Roberto Castro step up to the plate. Garcia at first, no out. Inside fastball, hitting 101 miles an hour. Really sending a message there to Castro, but Casey O'Beer pitching. He's able to hit that velocity too. And this one's lined into right. That'll drop in for a base hit. Garcia goes to second. That's number 100 for Roberto Castro as he's safely at first base. 2 on, no out. That'll bring up Oscar Barajas. I'm sure Chicago is wondering where this offense has been all season. 11 hits on the game so far. But last place in the division. And they struggled against Ohio all season. Casey O'Beer. Box, and that'll move the runners. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, if it was a false start on a pickoff throw, or if he just, I think he just had some motion, extra motion on his delivery there. So that balk will bring two runners into scoring position with no out. And things are not looking good here. Nobody in the Ohio bullpen just yet. But Casey O'Beer not off to a strong start here in the sixth inning, relieving Smokum. Oscar Barajas, the 0-2 pitch. Changeup goes inside for ball one. This one misses low, 102 miles an hour for that one. The 2-2 count. This is hit into the gap in right center. This will drop in. A 2 RBI double for Oscar Barajas, as yet again Chicago driving runs in, still no out. 8-0 is the score in the bottom of the sixth. Frank Erickson up to the plate with Barajas on second. What a game for Chicago. They're having a phenomenal game. This one grounded up the middle to the second baseman, Electricity, who easily plays it over to Goyle for the out. Oscar Barajas advancing to third. So one away. Sean Pfeiffer up to the plate. Ooh, and we're wrecking the studio here. All right, first pitch fastball misses low, 1-0. And another one way, two balls. Fouled off behind home plate. And this one's grounded to third. This is over to first. An RBI ground out on a very close play at first. 2 away for Chicago. But the runner scoring from third. So no one on now with 2 out. Mike Strang up to the plate. 1 for 3 on the day. And he'll ground out to first as Goyle flips it over to O'Beer covering first base. 9-0 Chicago as we go into the top of the seventh. And the out-of-town scoreboard again. Top of the ninth in Kingston as the Cannons lead the Boston Brawlers 7-3. Jacksonville still the commanding lead over Dallas 5-0. Denver Calgary looks like a pass ball is just scored bird. So Denver's up 5-1 over the Calgary Inferno. 2-1 for Nevada down in the Arizona game. And the final for Rimouski Battle Creek, it finishes at 12-2. Still waiting for the Toronto and Anchorage, California games to start. And this pitch goes inside of the curveball. Swing and a miss, strike one. Gilbert still on the mound for Chicago. Garth Goyle 0 for 2 on the day. leading it off for Ohio. He's hit this one into center, but this one is caught by Mendoza, who's lunging, making a one-handed grab. What a play by Mendoza to get the out. And Ohio frustrated yet again, not having the kind of game they're hoping for. Ball 1 to Brad Bogus, the DH. And this fastball from Gilbert missing low. Gets the strike. Here's a hard hit liner to center field. This will drop in, going into the wall, and it's a stand-up double for Brad Bogus. This is the first extra base hit for Ohio all game, their 5th hit of the game. One away, and Tyrannosaurus up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. And Gilbert with a first pitch strike again on Tyrannosaurus. This one swinging and missing for this fastball. 0-2 in the count. One away. Bogus on second. And he struck him out with a fastball there. So Gilbert with his 9th strikeout, 3 of them delivered to Tyrannosaurus. Joseph Joseph, the catcher, now up to the plate. 2 down. Bogus on second. Trying to get an opportunity to advance here. Ohio likes to play the small ball when they can, but this season they've really had the long ball working in their advantage. It seems like they may have forgotten to play the small ball. It's not much you can do anyway with 2 away. This one's fouled off the left field side. 0-2 the count to Joseph Joseph. This one missing low and outside for ball 1. The 1-2 pitch away for ball 2. And this will load the count. Fouled away behind the stands. 3-2 pitch. And this is hit into left again. Will this hook foul again? And it's got foul again. Joseph Joseph really finding that left field crowd down there. And a liner down the right field side. This will go foul. Joseph working a quality at bat, and here's a tapper over to second. This will be the 3rd out. So Ohio is retired once again without scoring, leaving a runner on base. And we're into the 7th inning stretch. And just a little update from baseball headquarters here, the Bull League, as we cover some of the action. It's been an interesting game so far. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's we didn't expect to see Chicago ahead 9-0 already, and well, let's get back to the action so we can see how it plays out. Because now we're into the 7th inning, just a couple innings left, and we're good to go. All right, bottom of the 7th, Chicago up to the plate. Mendoza swinging on that first pitch and missing. Casey O'Beer still in for Ohio, despite giving up 3 runs in the 6th. This one fouled off and drifting into the stand. Nope, foul has it, so 1 away. Raul Fowl charging in from third to catch that one. That's one thing we haven't seen a great deal of today was good hustle fielding from the Ohio OXEN, but Fowl really charging in to get that one. Did have the play earlier in the game, Gnarly preventing a run with the play at the plate there. Hard throw from Gnarly to O'Beer to get the out, preventing another run. It would have been 10-0 otherwise. 3-0 pitch to Hubbard. Takes that one for a strike. And he'll take a walk with one away. That'll bring up Joe Birch, the first baseman. Hitless 0 for 3 in the game. And that pickoff throw will send Hubbard back to first. This one misses wide. 2-0 is the count to Joe Birch. Hit hard into right field. This will drop in for another base hit. A double. He's going for 2. And wow, Hubbard all the way to home. He's there, safe at home. No, he's out. He's been tagged out. But the double for Birch puts Birch back into scoring position. So one extra out. Excuse me, Birch making it to third on that throw. Throw in from the right fielder, Ollie Oxenfree. Another great play at the plate to prevent a run. Would have made it 10-0, and if you couple that one with the Craig Gnarly throw earlier in the game, it would have been 11-0. And this one, a grounder to second, and that'll retire the side. Chicago does not score a run in the bottom of the 7th. This is the first inning they haven't scored a run since the second inning. 9-0 is the score for the Pitbulls as we move to the top of the 8th. Ohio really behind the 8 ball here to try to get a rally or get on the board. The 0-1 pitch, a ball to Craig Gnarly, trying to start things up here, bottom of the lineup. High and outside. Ball 2. I wonder if Chicago is going for the complete game for Brett Gilbert. I'll have to check the stats to see how many complete game shutouts he has. This one's fouled off the right field side. Gnarly staying alive. The 2-2 pitch to Gnarly. Fouled behind home plate. 105 pitches we're up to now for the right-hander Brett Gilbert. And he's swinging and missing on that slider, sending Craig Gnarly down. So that's 10 strikeouts for Gilbert on the day. It's really coming along in the latter half of the season, making up for that dry spell he had earlier back at July and August. Take a look at those Gilbert numbers again. This was Brett Gilbert up until now. Hadn't had a win since June, and on a 4-game losing streak. His last time up against Ohio, it was his worst loss ever, and now it looks like Chicago's delivering a pretty bad loss to Ohio. So Brett Gilbert getting some vengeance here, or something on this play anyway. Yeah, what a game. 9-0 Chicago against the top team in the Lake League West Division. 2-0 count to Corny Mays, now that we're back to the top of the lineup for Ohio. Trying to get something going here with one out. Craig Gnarly out. Hit hard and deep deep to left center. This one is gone. Home run for Corey Mays. And he'll touch them all as finally Ohio gets on the scoreboard on a solo shot from Corey Mays. That is home run number 21 on the season. And is this the start of a rally for the Ohio OXEN? Electricity up to the plate. Brett Gilbert doesn't seem too shaken. Has tended to give up home runs in the past. It's one of his glitches. So known as a little bit of a home run hitter, a home run pitcher. Check his home run stats real quick here. 9 home runs last season, 15 home runs this season. It's about 1 per 9 innings, so he's about at that rate. He's hit his 1 for these 9 innings. But let's see if Ohio can rally and squeeze a couple more in there. And that'll be strike 3 to Electricity. Two away here in the top of the 8th. Ohio finally on the board. Foul foul. Grounding to second, and diving on that play was Roberto Castro. Takes that first pitch, but he can't do anything with it. Grounding out to second. That'll retire Ohio. They are on the board finally, but that brings up Chicago, who's clearly in command of this one here in the bottom of the 8th. No activity in the bullpen over in Chicago. We'll check that out-of-town scoreboard one more time. The Toronto-New York game has not started. Jacksonville, 5-0, still against Dallas, now in the top of the 9th. The final in Kingston, 7-4 for the Cannons over Boston. Arizona, Nevada. Arizona finally on the board. The end of the 6th, 2-1 for Nevada. Anchorage, California hasn't started yet. And that's about all there is to report on the out-of-town scoreboard. Bottom of the 8th. Casey O'Beer still pitching for Ohio. First pitch to Roberto Castro. Had that great diving catch to end the top half of the inning. First pitch is a strike. 0-1 pitch. Grounded back up to shortstop. The throw over to first in time. Castro will go back to the dugout. 2-4 on the day. And Oscar Barajas, who's also 2-4 on the day, up to bat yet again. And he grounds this one over to short. And another 6-3 grounder. 2 away. And these are the kinds of innings that Ohio is hoping to have for the last 4 or 5 innings. These quick ground ball outs. And Erickson will also ground it to Krosef Joseph, who is responsible for handling all 3 ground balls. 3 up, 3 down. As we move to the top of the 9th, Brett Gilbert will try for the complete game in this 9-1 Chicago game. First pitch, ball 1, missing low to Ohio's Ollie Oxenfree. And yes, it's quite a score here. Chicago with quite a commanding lead. Ohio would need a bit of a miracle here to make a comeback. And that one is a strike. The 2-0 pitch, curveball. Oxenfree didn't like it. This one hitting the outside corner for strike 2. Brett Gilbert really trying to get to strikeout number 12, and I can't blame him. This one fouled behind home plate. As Oxenfree stays alive. And swinging and a miss. For strike 3, and yeah, out number 1 registered. 2 more outs before Chicago can secure this victory. Garth Goyle up to the plate. This one missing low for ball 1. And this one will go in for strike 1. Garth Goyle watches this one go low. Hasn't been a lot of swinging from the Ohio bats today, except what they've been grounding out usually. Full count to Garth Goyle. And he goes down looking on a fastball, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. 13 strikeouts today for Brett Gilbert. This should have Chicago ecstatic. Gilbert, not their top pitcher in the rotation, but clearly playing like a top pitcher today. Two away. Brad Bogus up to the plate. First pitch ball. And this one sails over at the knees. This will be a strike 1. Looks like Noragumi Sakurai is in left field now for Chicago. Defensive substitute. And this one is fouled off to the left field side. And this one's hit back up the middle, over to short, and then to first. The throw is in time, and that is it. This game is in the books. Ohio goes down to Chicago, 9-1, and the Pitbulls split the series. So 9-1 win for the Chicago Pitbulls. They advance their record to 36-49. We now need to see if they are still tied with Toronto. Toronto plays New York later today. The OXEN fall to 51-35. What a stellar performance by Brett Gilbert with the complete game. Nearly a shutout. He only had that one run on him, and it was a hard to prevent home run back in the 8th inning. But Chicago really drilling the offense for 4 straight innings, racking up 9 runs. And boy, did they make Heath Slocum look pretty bad out there. 110 pitches for Slocum, 57 strikes, allowing 4 earned runs in 5 innings. He was relieved by Casey O'Beer, who took 3 earned runs in 3 innings. Slocum's ERA up to 4.70. Brett Gilbert's ERA falls to 4.02 as he notches 13 strikeouts, no walks, just 6 hits and 1 earned run on that solo shot from Corny Mays back in the 8th inning. Only 1 home run for Chicago. They did it all on base hits and good base running. Garcia had his 10th home run in the 4th inning, that 2-run homer. But the rest of those runs were all on RBI doubles and just solid base running. A few runners left in scoring position on both sides. But with more hits going to Chicago, it was definitely them with more runners left on base. Understandably so. So that's the end of our Ohio-Chicago live game broadcast. Thanks for watching. Just check that out of town scoreboard one more time as we get around the updates. And yep, still no more finals to report.